again. Yo, when you hear talk of the South Side, you hear talk of the team. You niggas fear Prince and respected Preem. For all you slow motherfuckers, I'ma break it down illa. See, Preem was the businessman and Prince was the killer. Remember? He used to push the bulletproof BM, Say I get you seasick. I sat back and peep shit. The road was easy wider than. They didn't get blunted. Had the whole projects working for 50 or 500 as a youth. All I ever did was sell crack. I used to idolize Cat. Hurt me to my heart to hear that nigga snitched on Pat. How you go out like that? Rumors in the hood was just for snitching. I ain't believe that, Paul. He helped me cop my first GSXR. Had the 4Runner, the Z, the 5 and the 3. Used to drive his truck through the hood, dragging jet skis from Gerald Wallace to Baby Wise. Don't be surprised at how freely I throw our names of guys who dealt with pies like LA and Wise. L got shot in the neck. They told us connect. Them niggas who shot him got him for 10 bricks. Fucking Dominicans turned around and gave him more bricks. Oh, forgive me for I've sinned over and over again just to stay on top. And we call Mary filled with sin over and over again and again and again. That first verse was just a dose of the shit that I'm on. Consider this the first chapter in the Ghetto's Quran. I know a lot of niggas that get dough like Bimmy and Joe. And Prince and Righteous from Hillside with the mole on his nose. Throughout my struggles in the hood, I started learning. Life's a bitch with a pretty face, but she burning. Man, I'ma get cheese like Chaz.
Guess who it is?
Yes, you guys.
Right.
I think they know.
We on?
It's Monday. There's a reason why we're playing that. I always do that with the mute, the 50 Cent. We'll get into that. Frank, what's going on? Ghetto Quran. Who remembers when 50 Cent dropped? Obviously, you do, Frank, right?
When he dropped?
Well, when he started getting popular.
Oh, yeah. Probably 2002.
Yeah, something around there.
2003.
Yeah.
I remember I was in jail. My ex-girlfriend at the time, she liked that 25 questions. And it has kind of like jail overtones if you listen to it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah. But
there's a reason why we're playing that one. Say it again.
The brothers, they were playing that a lot in the can.
Yeah, it was a huge. I mean, he was especially being from Queens. Obviously, it was a big thing. It was a really big thing. But that song Ghetto Quran. Of course, he's talking a lot about the Supreme Team, a lot of Southside Jamaica Queens, the Babos, all those dudes. So we're gonna be talking a little bit about some of those guys later on. Frank, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Let's say hi to everybody before we get into that. No.
Yeah. I'll bring them on the screen. You shout them out.
All right. We got Joe Rue. What's up, Joe? Chris Capello. Thank you, Chris Capello, for everything. You're always there for us every week. Thank you, my man.
Thank you, Chris.
He's a good supporter of the show. Everybody's a supporter of the show, but I love all you. We got Nick Romano. We got Pat Dore. We got Tower King 1970. Who else we got? Oh, Dayon, what's up, my man? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's okay. Dan goes back to me in Ridgewood days. Carol N in the house. Hey, Carol N. How are you? How are you out of the hospital? Hope everything's okay. Good people there. Good people.
We got Mike the Printer, GL, Matt. Ranger Fan 11 says finally caught alive. What's going on, buddy? Glad you caught alive. Thanks for leaving the comments. So really appreciate that. The Nick Romano show in the bushes. Look at him.
Carol says I'm good. Good, Carol. Good.
Good, Carol. Tower King, my man. What's going on? Drunk
Matt,
Jersey.
what's up, Matt? There's my boy Matt.
Happy Sunday to you. All right. So we've had a interesting kind of last week where we had John A-Light on. Right? We had John A-Light on. Then we had Dom Sicilian on.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of an interesting week. We have been sprinkling in guests here and there, but that last week was kind of like I don't know what happened. What did you think of the results of those interviews?
I mean, that was the first time me and Dominic Sicali, ex-captain in the Banana family, actually corresponded at any level. And it was good. I hope he comes back one day. It was interesting. He was a good guest. John is an old friend. I know John a long time, and he came on and he achieved something this time around. It wasn't about his past, whatever. So that was good, but I don't know. We had a good week. We had a good week in that respect. But I like to interact with the chat as well.
Yeah,
and they were great, as a matter of fact, and that's what we're gonna try to do today, and maybe possibly next show. But we do have a couple of other guests lined up. So we're gonna go from there. Other guests that were once in the life. Obviously, guys that were in the life are not gonna come on. One that was in the life came out of prison this week, actually a couple of days ago, and there was a video that we put out. And just to make it clear, I wasn't putting that video as something like, oh, here he is, or to aggravate him or anything like that, because we were friends at one time. It was kind of because I was happy, and we talked about it. I was happy that he's out, and a lot of people had a couple of choice words to say, and I'm here. Guy was in for 28 years. Give him a break, man. He's not a bad. A lot of these people that yeah, it does look good, Nick. A lot of these people that he was in trouble for murking, if you would, they were in that life. He didn't go into a schoolyard. He didn't go into this. I'm not justifying is it okay, but at the end of the day, the kid I grew up with, for example, was a big fucking scumbag, and he was already suspected in other crimes. He was about to get picked up in a federal indictment for drugs. He was always looking to fucking get an edge on somebody. So, that was the life. That's what the life breeds. It's not like he didn't go around beating up girls. I know you guys gonna whatever about that one. He didn't do nothing like that, and he was all about that life, and that's what it is. And hopefully that's behind him. But at the same time, not shout out to, obviously there's he feels a certain way about me, but it is what it is. I didn't put him there, and he knows that.
Yeah, and I went back and forth with Frank for a little bit before posting that, because obviously I guess it's the opinion that we're not the only ones maybe that might have it, and might get out there regardless. So I mean, let it be our channel, I guess, that puts it out. So most of the comments are positive. There's one or two, but I don't know. I don't know, Frank. I mean, I guess we're gonna leave it, right? I mean,
we can't do nothing about it now. But it was coming up one way or the other. It was sent to me by about 6-7 different people. I don't know why it was sent to me, and I was like, wow. I knew right away who it was. I was glad he's out, and never was glad he was in to begin with. Like I said, I didn't put him in there. And when he was out, he was always good to me, So it's like I'm just glad he's out. And if people don't like that, the way I feel about that, well, then that's too bad.
Yeah. And I don't know, our great moderator Roro. I hope she doesn't get
mad.
Roro,
what's up, baby? What's up? I didn't even see.
She is feeling a little bit under the weather. I won't go into too much, but she's not feeling the greatest today. So everybody in the chat, let's give a get well soon to the great Roro, please. Our great moderator. She's always here for us. She's always there for me, personal level, on the MIC Crime Spot and everything else. So Roro's here. She's a champ, but she is definitely feeling a little under the weather. So let's give a get well soon to Roro, please. Joey Frakes.
Love you, Roro. I hope you feel better. Yeah. Is she okay?
Yeah. I just want to give her a shout out because she's okay. She's all right.
Another fat ball Italian. What's up, DL? Roro, you're the best. You're the best. You're good. You've supported us, and thank you for that. To all you guys, everybody out there in the chat. How many people we got?
We got 100 people.
That's cool. And thank you.
100 people. Couple minutes in, 100 people. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the chat will go. So we were talking on the phone today. Well, first of all, I mean, we're gonna get back to the Ridgewood series soon. I know people are waiting. We're gonna get to that soon this week. We're gonna do everything in our power to put out another one. Sometimes things mess up with us, work schedules. I work full time. Frank works. Shit happens. But regardless, we're always here every Monday night. If we can't put out pre-recorded content, it's our promise that we're going to give you live streams instead. But of course, just be patient with us, please. We're going to get episode 3 out, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not like like he said, we work. We enjoy doing this, and you guys, to those who give donations to us, I thank you for it. But we're not ready to quit our job so we could do this full time. You know what I mean? But regardless of that, you guys, Frank the Tech. Oh, you know what that is? Strolling with Sonny. That's a man, the legend. We're not gonna. Put it this way. He likes to swim in the water.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. What's up, Strolling with Sonny?
Nick Romano show says he wants to apologize to Frank. I guess if anything happened in the past, and he says he shows what kind of guy you are for being cordial with him.
Yeah, that's fine, bro. Hey, look, man, we're glad everything's working out for you. Redemption.
Yeah, no, we want to get along with everybody here. We're not.
We're not looking at. Yeah, yeah, man, you're good, bro. You're good.
We might make fun of Sammy a little bit and these other guys, but that's whatever.
I mean, people get upset over everything here. You know what I mean? And then they want to go after each other, but they're behind the screen. You're behind the screen. The other people there, and then it's just going to be aggravating. So I don't even bother with that no more.
Right. And nowadays, it's like it's way too easy to ruin someone's life from like 2,000 miles away. You start doxing them, you start calling their jobs. It's like so easy. Everyone's so accessible. So it's like it's almost better off to just get along with people and just. But we love everybody here. Thank you so much. Let's answer Jeff Magoo's question, Frank, and then let's get on with the show. If you guys have any questions, I could I'll be starring them as we go along, and maybe later we'll get to a little Q&A. But Jeff Magoo wants to know, Frank, how serious were the Serbian cafes, clubs in Ridgewood?
All right. So Serbians in general are serious people, like in an organized crime level. But at the same time, you're only as serious as the numbers you run, and in my neighborhood, they weren't as numerous as, let's say, in Belgrade or places like that, where they're affluent in government and the mobs. I'm gonna argue is the same over there, or used to be that way. You get your ones that are rougher than others. But were they the ones that stuck out the most on my neighborhood? No, and I feel that's because a lot had to do that with the numbering schemes, where the Albanians, they were newer to this. When I mean newer, I mean they were a communist country for a while, so they had to be careful about what they were doing. But when it came to the United States, the Albanians from Kosovo or the former Yugoslavia or the ones from there came to my neighborhood. They were hungry, like the Sicilians were before them. Out of the Eastern European groups, I'd have to say, but then we could always bring Pedge back to see if my opinion is a little right anyway. But the Albanians seem like they were always the stronger of the group.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we were talking on the phone today. You started getting into, obviously, we've covered a lot of non-organized crime events here, a lot of general criminal events. And yes, these next stories do have to do with organized crime, but the victims are not organized crime members. We started talking on the phone about police deaths, police assassinations, murders in the 1980s in New York City. And we were talking about a couple. So we wanted to actually... And one of them in particular, not a NYPD cop, but a DEA agent, one of them in particular, what you were saying on the phone, you're not connected to the case, obviously, but there's so many moving parts.
No, I'm not connected to the actual crime.
Right. There's so many people involved that you end up getting connected to one guy, this guy. And we're actually going to talk about 3 cases today dealing with officers murdered in the line of duty in the decade of the 1980s. And one of them is a DEA agent by the name of Everett Hatcher on February 28th, 1989. This is obviously an incredibly famous story, but Frank's going to add more context as far as some of the guys involved here.
Yeah, well, this happened, a certain Constable Farace, Gus Farace, better known. And I just learned this today, that he was actually born in Bushwick. in 1960. Big guy, about 6'3", 220 pounds. And he's locked up early in his life as a young guy. They went what they would call gay bashing out in the village. They kidnapped these two kids, him and another two of his friends, brought him back to Staten Island, brought him on a beach, and they beat one kid to death. The other one got away, and they ended up the kid who got away ended up figuring him out on the lineup. They went to a lineup and he pointed him out, and he went away. They didn't want a lengthy trial. They didn't want to relive it again. The family of this certain Stephen Charles, the kid who was killed. He was out of New Jersey, 17-year-old kid, and he took a 7-21 plea. This was around 1979. 77 was the crime. 79, he was in since then. 79, he pled out to that. During in jail, he meets a Jerry Chili, Staten Island's own Jerry Chili, a banana wise guy at the time, made guy, and they strike up a friendship. But Farace, to his own, his family comes from a long line of mobsters as well, cousins and uncles, and they were affiliated with the Columbos. Anyhow, they hook up when they get outside. He puts him in the weed business. Farace gets into the weed business, and he comes out around 88. And he starts right off the bat on parole. He starts getting back to his old ways, and he strikes up a conversation at some bar or something like that with a DEA officer, and they meet a couple of times. Obviously, he doesn't know he's a DEA officer, and this Hatcher. What was Hatcher's? Everett Hatcher. That was his name. And they meet up once, twice. He starts getting cold feet about this guy, and he's like, you know what? This fucking guy set me up. He goes, yeah, and he thought to himself, I don't think he thought he was a cop, but he thought he was hot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's different notions as to what he thought, but DEA agent definitely didn't think that. I don't think he thought maybe the guy was playing with him somehow, or maybe he was setting him up, and maybe he even was a drug dealer, and he was just setting him up for whatever he was doing something.
He just didn't like it. Something smelled rotten for him.
Right.
The third time they were supposed to meet was in Staten Island, right near Arthur Kill Road. Shout out to what's that guy who always wants to meet people at Arthur Kill Road?
Mm-hmm.
Who was that guy who always wants to meet people at Arthur Kill Road? Whatever.
Oh, wait, you talking about a guy on
Yeah. Arthur Kill Road.
I don't know. No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was like mob too. Anyhow, BK, there you go. Thank you. No,
oh, BK. Okay.
Yeah. So
I thought you were like poking a little joke at Romano for a second. So I was like, I don't know.
I wasn't. So yeah. Anyway, he's supposed to meet him around there, not too far from the prison used to be or is. And as he's going towards there, he sees him, and they have their mind ready. They're gonna blow this guy's head off. And he takes 3 shots to the head while he's waiting for Farace. Hatcher does, the DA officer. And through the projection later on, the cops figured out it was high where he got shot. And the bullets came down, so they figured it was a van. And little time after, they were right. A van they thought was used in the hit was found a couple of blocks away after. News comes out. This guy's a DA or somebody fucked up. It wasn't, the guy had files on who he was supposed to meet, and now they're looking for this Gus Farace.
Right. So
manhunt.
I mean, the first thing, right. Obviously, within a day or two, I don't know how long. I mean, he must have found out, I guess, that night or the next day who he had murdered. So he ends up with Chili's daughter, right? At first.
Well, no, this is on the lam. Well, yeah, he was with her, but on the lam, I believe she gets grilled or arrested.
No, but he's hiding her. She's hiding him out at first in an abandoned home or something across the street from her house or something like that.
Near a house in Staten Island. That was one of his first hideouts.
Right.
And they went to the house, and he wasn't there, and they took her in for like a bed after the crime, whatever. And her name was she was Scarpa. She was married to a certain Scarpa.
Well, they called her Babe Scarpa. They called her. Well,
right.
Yeah.
She was Jerry's daughter, if I'm correct, Jerry Chili's daughter.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But I'm pretty sure that she was hiding him out in some sort of empty house that was like across the street from where she was living, and he stayed there for a little bit until that kind of got outed somehow.
Yes. And a lot of people were trying to hide him. An old friend of his, this guy John Petroselli, was hiding him out too. So when Jerry Chili's daughter gets arrested while they're looking for him, he's pretty pissed. So he wants to know where this fucking guy is because he's probably taking heat from his guys, like Massino or whatever, who was in jail at the time. He even gets a visit from Coffee to tell your boys, give this guy up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then after that, he tells the kid Petroselli, you know where he is, kill him. And you get a good name for yourself. The kid didn't do it. And
well, this was yeah. Well, that's where the Lucchese's come into play, right? He's a Lucchese guy, Petroselli.
Well, nobody really comes to play because these cops. You want to know how powerful the cops are compared to the mob. Right. Even back then, the mob was shook. They wanted to close every freaking social club there was.
Yeah,
they were giving everybody a hard time unless this guy came up. And there was mobsters that were like, fuck that, let them do their own fucking searching. We don't do that shit for them.
Yeah.
I mean, guys who really thought that way, mobsters, And then there was those guys, the money guys, and guys up there, oh, this fucking punk is gonna ruin the way we make a living. Fucking just let's kill him ourselves.
Right.
So you don't want to give them up because you don't want to give the cops that leverage, But at the same time, you don't want to be harassed every other day, and every family was being harassed. And I think Chili was taking the brunt to that. So he tells Petroselli, go kill him. Petroselli was like, I ain't gonna give up my friend. Fuck you. I ain't killing him. And they ended up freaking finding Petroselli dead with a bag over his head.
Right.
But I don't know. Some people say it's a Sicilian message. I never knew that. And he was one that got killed after that. So it was a hot time for the mob for sure. And finally, there's three guys that they said, we'll get him. We want a part of this life. I think they were associates at the time. One was this Gaglione guy, this Louis Tuzio, who was around the Bananos at the time. And there was another guy, I think his name was Gallo. I'm not sure if that was
Gallo. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I forget his first name, but Gallo, yeah.
And they were put on that hit to go meet up with him because they had an insider and they know how they could get to him through this kid Scalfani, whose father was in the gang. So all these kids are really they're associates at the time. They're looking for an in. This is a big in. If you could get this big fish, they figure. And then you have people are not going to give them up because they believe in, what are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and James Gallione, Ralphie Gallione's his father, right? The one that they killed him in the bar.
Yes.
But he's a Lucchese guy, right?
At the time, yeah. But
that's what I'm saying. There's like a bunch of people involved. I mean, you're right. The brunt is probably Jerry Chili, but you had these other guys getting involved. It was almost like obviously the cops are hunting him, but I think he's got every fucking family hunting him at the same time.
Really, when you're part of a farm team or part of farm teams, it's not set in stone which family you're going to end up in. You know how many guys will go in one direction and then they end up in another. Depends what they do. It's not so much about where you're going to end up at that point. It's about the action you do and the reactions you get from people, like in that life. You understand?
Right.
So, they could have been with freaking anybody at that time. But, Scalfani, he's family member. His family's in the mob. So you most likely his way to that life was through the Gambino family. That's just the way that works.
Right.
Anyhow, they wait for them in the street in Brooklyn. They were supposed to meet about hiding him somewhere else or a drug deal. It was never clear. He shows up and shots start ringing out. And they say by mistake, the kid gets hit twice, Scalfani, but they kill Farace. He don't die yet until the paramedics get there. They figure out who it is. And he dies a little bit after that. So that was how that ended. And whatever happened to everybody involved, like Gallione got made eventually. Scalfani, I think, got made with the guy riding with Farace that night. got made with the Gambinos. I'm pretty sure. And then there was Tuzio was looking to be made. I don't know what happened to Guy Gallo, but the little connection I have to that is he one of my co-defendants that's killing Tuzio, and that was Louis Mangelli.
Right. Well, yeah, because after they killed Farace, then Tuzio, and well, what is the thing with Tuzio being murdered?
Tuzio was a wild kid. He was around that Bad Damn You area,
I've
Spiro's
heard of
neighborhood.
yeah.
Big mouth, always same shit. You know, he's when am I getting made? Because he felt he was obligated because it had hit. Like some guys who get made up, you know, he was butthurt. He was bitter. You know what I mean? So basically, they told him he was going to get made. He was just fucking talking a lot, and they figured either we kill him or he's going to bring us trouble. We don't know what the fuck this guy's intention. So one night he met with these guys in the club. I'm pretty sure Magelli was there. Robert Lino, I believe, was there, and Spiro, if he wasn't there, was putting it together. And they were supposed to like to meet him. And there's Danny right there. He just got out. He on that crime right there, he ended up doing 27 years.
Yeah.
On that murder by itself, and you know, the other predicates of RICO. So Tuzio goes in there with like thinking he's gonna get made, and he gets one right in back of the head, like Pesci right there in Goodfellas, and that was the end of him.
Right. Well, what kind of guy was Mangelli? Because he was your co-defendant, right?
Yeah, nice guy, very nice guy, very quiet guy, very quiet. But if you didn't know me, he funny, real nice to be around. Wasn't a bad guy. His nickname was Dirty. You don't know how he got that fucking Dirty Danny. Yeah. But short guy. I think I was the tallest out of both of them, which is not saying much. I'm 5'8", you know.
Yeah.
But they offered us a because me, him, and Robert were like the youngest one in that whole freaking indictment, and they offered us a global plea. And at one point, I was looking at a couple of years less than they offered me, like 5 or 6. Once I got into that fucking global plea, it went up to 27 years. They offered him 30, and I think Robert got like 31. He already had 8 years in, and so they got me good at the end. I should have took my plea when they well, I don't know. You know how that goes. Shoulda, coulda. But those were the days, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do we got next?
Another thing that's interesting is I put up this photo here. Before he was murdered, this photo of him in the middle is actually when he was hiding out on East 85th Street in Manhattan, and apparently he was there for a couple months, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he grew a beard. He didn't look nothing like he did. He looked like one of those guys that hung out, big guys that hung out in the village, you know, with the beards and smoking weed or whatever.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Look at his shirt. It's like Pulp Fiction when they changed into those clothes, and he says they look like dorks. This is like one of those shirts.
Right. Yeah. Dangerous guy, though. Dangerous guy.
And then, yeah, like you were saying earlier, Babe Scarpa pleads guilty to hiding Farace from cops because she was hiding this guy in some sort of vacant home. But what did she end up? She was charged her with being an accessory to the murder after the fact of Hatcher. She was quick to accept her plea, requesting more information. However, the judge was satisfied they understood. Neighboring March before I called that person. She pleaded guilty. So I don't know what they ended up. I don't know if she ended up. I don't know what became of it. Sorry, but
look at her. She looks like straight out of Mob Wives. You know what?
Yeah. Now look at that hair. She's got like an extra head. Yeah. Crazy, dude. Great. What a world. Dominic Calandra, you know what?
Somebody be on the Angels panel.
Babe Scarpa definitely had more hair.
Look at Babe Scarpa. Look at that little baby. Cute as hell with the gray hair and all. Any questions, guys? Any questions about this stuff? What's coming up? Any here?
Looks like a 1% biker. Yeah. AFBI. All right, we'll get another question real quick. Frank, if you took the plea, you know they would have come back with additional charges. That's how the feds operated back then.
You know what? You had captains in the Bonanno family. captains, not me. I was an associate, okay? Captains and fucking underbosses and all these fucking guys that were who or whatever, who was getting 10 years on murders, who was getting 15, who was getting 20 because of their age.
Yeah.
And I asked my lawyer, I said, tell them to get a fucking decent plea. Why they got me in the 20s? And then I'm getting deported anyway. What the fuck they care? They'll never see me again.
Right.
You go, because they're afraid that when you get out, you're going to, and them too, Lino and Mangelli, when you get out, you're going to still go back to what you know. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, if I'm not, but you're like Tony Green, right? He had 2 murders. He got 20 years because of his age. You understand? He came out, he was like 85. I mean, he's basically out of commission, unless you ask Bernstein, what do they say? Are we allowed to talk about him?
Yeah, you can talk about him.
Yeah, don't mention nobody because, unless they
the Genovese are the New York Knicks of that's Madison Square Garden. That's where the big dogs play. They're the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champions. They're the Lakers. They're the marquee. They're the top name on the marquee.
That goes on longer than I remembered. Holy shit.
Strolling with Sonny asked a great question. You know what Strolling with Sonny is, right? I know what Strolling with Sonny. Don't worry, I am telling you about
Frank, seriously, how many times did Joe Massino shit his drawers in lockup?
One time, right? But it wasn't with me though. This is and you know who told me about it was Frank Cadillac. He used to eat like a fucking. He was going to the chair, and he said the fucking guy one time fucking he was bleeding from his asshole, whatever. I was like, oh jeez, I didn't need to hear that. They were in MCC. This is when he flipped, and he still was going to work on them fucking jalapenos. He was an old man. You know what? I'm almost his age now. What he was back then. He was like 61, 62 when he got locked up, and he was in bad shape for his age.
I was going to say a pretty bad 62, if anything.
Yeah.
From what I could see.
Yeah.
But even think over 20 years ago, 60, even over 20 years, it's not the same 60 as today,
No.
No.
He was in bad shape.
Cindy Burst, what's going on? How are
Cindy?
you doing? Joe Root, what's going on, buddy? So we got a couple other cases.
How many people we got?
We got 158 people.
50. What?
158.
Shout out to all of you. We love you all. And thank you for appreciating our show, guys.
I would never dare talk like that about a boss.
I never talked about it. Matter of fact, and I'm gonna keep it real, I always do. It was always like walking on eggshells when you stuff around Joe.
Yeah.
Tony Green was in great shape. Yeah, he was strolling Sonny.
Paul G412 says, mob guys always grow a beard when they go on the road. It must be a rule if they go a beard and hide out in the Poconos. Yeah. It's like an Amish rumspringa. They're not allowed to have a facial hair in the mob. So when they get away, they go all out. Even Carmine the Snake started growing a fucking beard and a mustache.
Yeah.
Obviously, Casso, the famous mugshot, he's got a big mustache.
Massino had 2 loop earrings in Witsec. Just kidding.
RD, what's going on, man?
Yeah,
how you doing, buddy? What's going on, RD?
Yeah.
All right, so we got a Malavita, hey, proletarian. What's going on, buddy? Evening, fellas. Bernstein called the Canadian Hells Angels president James Bond. You see, yeah, he loves those analogies. He is the James Bond of motorcycle of the.
My ex-girlfriend. You see what she said? Who's that?
Hey, Maureen.
It is today. Yeah, I've been feeling under the weather a little, Mo. You get a lot of allergies out here when it stops. Here in Seattle, when it stops raining.
Yeah.
Everything's green. It's bad. If you got allergies, it's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
All right, we got another one that we discussed that you mentioned also. This is the Edward Byrne murder, February 26th, 1988. Edward Byrne is a young guy, about 22 years old, I think, only. Killed inside his automobile while doing some security, basically protection on a witness in Southside, Jamaica, Queens. February 26, 1988, executed inside his vehicle. Frank, you remember this one?
I do. Very, very, very sad one. President Bush the first, the dad, actually had his badge on his desk in respect of the late Edward Byrne. And this kid, he was a rookie. Dad, I think, was a cop. He was watching a potential witness's house with the potential witness in there. With 4 assailants come to the house. One knocks on the window. He looks in the window, which happened to be the guy I'm going to mention in a little bit. Other guy comes from behind and blows his head off to get to the guy inside the house. The guy in the house sees this going on, and they don't even get him. They just assassinate pure blood this poor guy. If I ever hated a cop killer more than anybody for more than once, was this guy I'm about to mention. He was just plain out garbage.
Yeah, so let's talk about the 4 guys that were at the scene. The guy all the way to the right, that's Pappy Mason. We could talk a little bit about him, but so we got Scott Cobb, Todd Scott, Philip Copeland, and David McClary. And which one of these individuals?
I was in jail with Scott Cobb, and he changed his name, became a Muslim, which a lot of people do. They want to change their life, but I just think he did it for the wrong reasons, because he was just that person. If you ever experience reverse racism, and it doesn't have to be fair, just with people in jail, this is where you kind of like see it at best. He was bitter. He didn't like Italians for the simple fact that Italians were getting better deals than he was, because he ended up telling on his friends too. And those were his friends. He told them he just was a bad guy to do time with, a lot of bad times. You thought of doing bad things to him, vice versa. Just was talked the side of his mouth. It was all white this, white that, fuck this, fuck that.
Which one is he in the photo here?
He's on the top.
Oh, okay. Top left.
Yeah. And out of all of them, he ends up getting out. I guess he was the first one to flip.
Yeah, 2023, he was actually paroled.
Yeah, and Edward Byrne's brother, who's a law enforcement agent and was retired, I believe. I think the Banana Squad, if I'm correct, as well. So when Cobb found that out, he would always have something like to say, like, these guys are going over there talking shit about nothing. He was just a bad person to begin with. I don't know where he is today. If he's doing better, so what? If he ain't, it's expected, because that's the type of person he was. And that was it. But the poor kid, he ended up getting killed young, 22 years old. And disgracefully, there's times where, parole is, when you kill a cop that cold and that in that nature or anything like that, it wasn't an accident. They weren't fighting. Something happened, none of them deserve to be out. But I'm not the parole guy. And I'm the first one to tell you 25 years is a long time for anybody. But this one was just, I don't know. You should be old enough at that. I don't know. I don't remember how old they are. I don't want to catch myself being a hypocrite. They're in there a long time, but that was a bad one.
Yeah, and this whole thing, obviously, we have Pappy Mason, Howard Pappy Mason, infamous drug kingpin out of Southside Jamaica, Queens. Him and Fat Cat Nichols, although Fat Cat was never convicted of having to do with this homicide. Pappy was those other guys. Well, Pappy was actually in ADX for a long time. They threw his ass in fucking ADX for a while. And Pappy
is the inspiration to a lot of 50 Cent songs, right?
Well, that's why I played the one in the beginning. It talks a lot about those characters: Supremem Team, Fat Cat, Pappy, bunch of those guys.
Queens. Yeah.
That's why I played that song Ghetto Quran in the beginning, because we started talking about this stuff. Yeah, and these guys, Southside Jamaica, Queens, Baisley Projects, that whole area. I used to work on Liberty Avenue off the off the Van Wyck, which is kind of like not the greatest area. And I worked in other parts in Jamaica, but yeah, definitely there's still some bad spots in Southside Jamaica. But these guys are running shit. The 80s crack epidemic. I mean, you guys could see documentaries about these guys, especially the Supreme Team, Kenneth McGriff, and all those dudes. Something that I've kind of, because I walk around and I film locations, and so these are guys I've never decided a personal choice not to cover them really on my channel. I've had a personal choice not to talk about Dennis T, who Ranger Fan is mentioning in this commentary. It's another individual I wouldn't talk about on my channel. But yeah, interesting stuff. Do you remember a lot of that stuff coming out of
not
Jamaica
that.
in the 80s? Was it penetrating you guys?
Not in structure. I didn't care about it. Like the music. If you were into the music, they would talk about it in music, Fat Cat and Supreme and all that. Even Irv Gotti and all that. I believe it. When they got indicted, a lot of the guys who were left in those other indictments left off were indicted again. And so was one of Scott Cobb's nephew who was involved in that whole Irv Gotti indictment. So
yeah,
it's live in music. People know about it. I think people in the non-African American neighborhoods learn from it through the music, and I wasn't one of them, so I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. I mean, music plays a big part. I mean, you could see photos of like 80s rappers hanging out with these guys in the 80s, probably like LL. So actually, a guy that 50 Cent mentioned in that song is a guy by the name of Bimmy, who ended up being a bigwig at Def Jam, and I think his nephew is Waka Flocka. That's a guy I would actually see every once in a while on Hillside Avenue.
Waka Flocka, is that a real thing?
No, Bimmy.
I would see him at the zoo.
Yeah.
Sounds like a flamingo.
Joey definitely. He was indicted on murder charges with America when he took off, came back 6 years later, but not from. Yeah. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Yeah, that's true, Ranger Fan. That's true. Yeah.
You know Waka Flocka? No.
Don't get me started, Ranger Fan. Yeah, so that's another one. That's an infamous one. That's one that they always talk about still a lot, the Byrne murder. Now,
shout out to Southie out there in New Hampshire.
What's up, Big Sky? How you doing, buddy? What about Biggie? Have any mob connect? Not that I know. I mean, I don't know. Was Biggie connected to the mafia? I don't know.
Last time any mafia was in Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, was probably Murder Incorporated.
Yeah, there was the juice. Didn't Puffy go to school with
Yeah, the guy from the Gambino fan. Puffy went to fucking private school. Everybody thinks he was like.
I know.
His parents. His mama. He was a mama's boy, and she had money. She was in the drug game at one time. Dad was too. So she took her little boy out of that.
Yeah, David Price, a lot of Guyanese. Those are just like some of the funniest fucking people in the world, by the way.
They can be treacherous. I was with a bunch of guys from British Guyana, and what they were doing was they were bringing their people in from Guyana, putting insurance on them with no ties, and then they were killing them.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm talking about the good ones. Yeah.
They were out of Jamaica. I was in jail with a whole bunch of them. There's like 50 of them, 60 of them.
Yeah, Guyana, got a lot of Trinidadians over there, Trinidad people. But the nice ones, when they're nice, they're some of the funniest fucking people I've ever known in my life, to be honest with you. They're really funny.
There's French Guyana, and then there's British Guyana.
And then there's Jonestown, Guyana.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Andrew Campos. There you go. Thank you, Tyler. Andrew Campos. EC Kid Campos. Yeah. Johnny Blaze Campos. Yes. Andrew Campos. Correctamundo.
What did Gaslight say?
Say it again.
Gaslight has a question.
Frank, would you ever provide tips in the Ridgewood subreddit on what areas to avoid, where to eat? There's no point now. I mean, I'm not going to speak for you.
I don't know. Yeah, no, God, you could answer that one. Because
there's no point now, Gaslight Studios, because it's like one of the hippest neighborhoods in the United States of America. Last I checked it.
Yeah.
It won out for one of the hippest neighborhoods. There's
my friends always complain about it too.
there's a local digital news, QNS.com. It's a Queens website that I read daily. And today I was looking at it, and it's just like all these. There's going to be some restaurant event there, Frank, where Martha Stewart's going to be there helping open some restaurant. And then there's going to be some popular other things opening up over there. So I think it's I don't think they care what you have to say, Frank, about that neighborhood anymore. Sadly,
they don't give a shit. Muggsy Siegel, hey Muggsy, thank you for that. You know what? I'm not gonna tell you what it was, but thank you, Muggsy Siegel. And we got Frankie. Were there any bikers in the units? Yeah, there was. Yeah, bikers. I always thought bikers were like the Aryan Brotherhood. They were always like together, the same. Yeah. They're not. They actually don't get along. They don't get along.
From Capella, my man. Define hip. Yeah. Well, hip is up and coming restaurants, great coffee shops, great living, $4,000 a month rent. That's hip. Snake Plissken, $4.99. Thank you. He says, Frankie.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Snake.
Frankie, have you ever been in Witsec?
Yeah. I've been in both phases, 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's two uploads.
Check out the recordings I talk about being Witsec.
Yes, we have 2 episodes about Frank in Witsec. Let's get to 174 people. Thanks a lot for hanging out today. Hey, Mr. Matt with the $10. Thank you, Matt. Who's better than you,
Matt.
buddy?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Snake. Hip meaning young and rich. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, to some people. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. And this one is I almost said near and dear to me. I don't mean it in that sense. I mean it because I've covered it on my channel. And I've spoken to a family member of the individual who we're going to speak about next. One of the individuals. This is one that's taken off in a rather bizarre way. And it's actually the death of Cecil Sledge on January 28th, 1980 on Flatlands Avenue in Canarsie. That is a mural over there at the 69th precinct of Cecil Sledge. That's still there. Cecil Sledge was killed on January 28th, 1980 on Flatlands Avenue by one Crazy Sal DeSarno. Crazy Sal DeSarno of Canarsie. Sal DeSarno had been crazy. I've since amassed street stories about him from people. I haven't spoken about them yet. But yeah, he was nuts. He had already been in trouble with the law. He liked to rob shit. He was currently wanted in connection to robbing some kind of donut shop or something. He was going out robbing stores still. He wasn't learning his lesson. He would get stopped by Cecil Sledge. Crazy Sal would shoot him and then drag him in his automobile through the street, and he would basically die. Sal DeSarno would get into a chase. He would crash into a house. Pretty crazy story. Here he is, the legend himself, Crazy Sal DeSarno.
He looks like the kid from The Sopranos. What's his name? Imperioli over there.
Michael Imperioli. Yeah. So this is Crazy Sal, and this, like I said, I've covered this on my channel about 3 years ago. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it did happen in the 1980s. I'm not going to complain that people have stolen a lot of my research on this, but that's fine. When I say stolen, like my literal words, they speak. So this one took off in a weird way, Frank, not only because he killed a cop. Now, Crazy Sal's still locked up, by the way. He's up for parole this year for the 9,000th time.
See that fucking lump he had in his eye? He didn't get that.
Still, yeah. So this took off in a weird way because you see the tattoo on his chest. This is the tattoo that tens and tens of thousands of people since have acquired for themselves. It's a famous tattoo at this point. This one on his chest itself was done by Tony Polito out of Brooklyn, who was one of the big guys at the time. He passed away about 10 or so years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So believe it or not, many people around the world, it could be in Japan, it could be in fucking Holland, it could be anywhere. You know what they call this tattoo? The Crazy Sal tattoo.
Is that right?
Yeah, after this. Now, The guy that did it, Tony Polito. I mean, I'm friends with his mentor. I've interviewed him for my channel, Rich Fi. He told me a lot of the history that Tony Polito hated this fucking guy. He tattooed him like 3 times. Couldn't fucking stand him. Hates that the tattoo's called the Crazy Sal tattoo. But at this point, they can't fucking stop it. This is what people all over the world are calling this thing. If you type Crazy Sal tattoo on Google, you'll see 100 fucking images of the skull with the cowboy hat. There's a whole history behind who did the tattoo first. But this is just another 1980s police homicide. Let's see what anyone has. I have a Tony Polito tat. Pretty cool, Nancy. Good shit. Good shit. Good shit. There's something wrong with guys named Sal. Mustang Sal. So I have since heard things about Crazy Sal. I haven't heard where he probably got the gun to commit that crime. But what I also heard was that he certainly was fucking crazy.
Well,
and
yeah,
he might have actually killed more people, is what I've heard from some people. And even like, you know, like mob guys and like real killers in the neighborhood, they knew like, yo, this guy's fucking crazy. Like, I don't know why they didn't fucking like cap him at some point, because apparently the whole neighborhood knew this guy was fucking nuts. And it all culminated in that moment, I guess. What Queens neighborhood is great. Yeah, I'm talking about Ridgewood, Ranger fan. Yeah, the hippest neighborhood in the United States of America.
Greenpoint. Hey, what's up, Ranger fan in the house?
Officer Sledge was in Schenectady Ave of M. 2 victims of the Lufthansa heist were executed in the car, the same block right in front of my house. 2085. Yeah, that would be Robert McMahon and Joe Manry, who were killed right over there where you're saying. Yep. Yep. Yeah, Sledge. Yeah. Say it again.
No. I was gonna totally go to another subject. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good looking. Appreciate it. No. We're gonna move on, but that was just another case that I just wanted to throw out there. And if you guys want to see more of a full length story with an interview with a tattoo artist as well, go to my channel, NYC Crime Spot. We'll talk about that. Stevie the Gypsy, what's going on, man?
I'm talking about the temperature, how different it was like in the 80s, late 80s, when it came to like looking for guys who killed cops, even if they were part of your thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
They didn't give a fuck. The mob didn't want the heat. Produced that motherfucker. Now you get Jerry the Jew in the 60s, right? He kills
the Attica guy, right?
Yeah, he becomes a lawyer inside.
Yeah,
Tony Danza plays both. Jerry the Jew in one movie and fucking Gus Farace in another. Both cop killers. But Jerry the Jew, he ends up becoming a lawyer in jail, gets people out of jail, but never could get himself out of jail, dies in prison in the 60s. But another co-defendant of mine, old man Frank Lino, he was accused of hiding him. And if you knew Frank Lino, he had the nickname Blinky because he always blinked. He was old. And he hid, apparently, Jerry the Jew. The cops got to him, and they beat his ass. And I remember we were talking about Luima, who got abused by cops, and they stuck a nightstick, you know where, up his ass, and ended up getting $2 million. And I go, Lino, because we were in jail together, I go, Frank, this guy got that fucking kind of money. He goes, you know what they did to me? Worse than that. And I didn't say nothing. I was embarrassed. He goes, but they beat his ass. Never talked, no nothing. And, you know, the mob wasn't about that back then. They were like, well, you know, the cops, there was a difference between the mob back then and the cops. The cops, sorry it happened, but you got to solve your own fucking problem. We can't help you. The difference with Gus Farace was like, oh, we'll get it done for you. They beat Frank Lino half to death. Yeah. Listen, Danny F., out of his words to me, he told me that, you know, and he was kind of giggling about it too. He goes, got $10 million. They did worse to me. I just was too embarrassed to talk about it after that. So you can imagine to find out where this fucking Jerry the Jew guy was.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
thank you, Georgie boy.
For the mob, you know, the transformation of the mob, the evolution stage of the mob was then, before then, and where it is today. You know,
right.
My cousin with Dino Calabo is another one. We didn't talk about that one. And with that one kid, you know, he could have easily got killed after that. I mean, people might say deservingly so, you know, but if you think about it, what was the name of that cop, by the way?
Ralph Doles.
Ralph Doles. My cousin Dino ends up with a hit squad killing the kid over false information given to him by a captain. And he after that he was so fucking like pissed off over it.
Yeah, but what is with the thing with Kim Kenna, Joe Waverly's girlfriend? Now she's with this guy.
It's garbage. Actually, it's garbage. I mean, what a waste. Not shout out, but respect to that cop out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, she was like
may rest in peace. His thing was he should have never got hooked up with the woman, but shit happens.
I spoke to her. She didn't want to do anything. She didn't want to talk.
Frank, how was it being locked up with McManaway? Did you ever share a cell with him? He was a crazy bastard. That Wilford, McManaway was okay in prison. He was all right until we found out he was into like lady boys.
Good looking. It was illegal to get a tattoo. Yeah, it was. It wasn't legal to get a tattoo in New York City till 96 or 97, I believe.
Wait, in prison?
In New York City.
Oh, yeah. Really? They were.
I think it was 96 or 97.
96. Really? You couldn't get one? Yeah, you're right. No, there wasn't no tattoo parlors back
not
then.
Legally. No, you had to go upstate. Or you had to go to Long Island or Westchester. Or whatever.
Not in New York City.
But there was guys like Tony Polito, Keith Perkins says here, Mike Perfetto, who's still tattooing in Brooklyn, Brooklyn Bill. Yeah. Joey Leak says, Frank, did you know Cesare Bonventre? I saw Nadu's video on him this week.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, very well. As a kid, he was the guy who used to give a kick in the ass now and then and left. Quiet type, quiet. Always dressed well, quiet. He would laugh with everybody else, but not engage with anybody else. And when he did, it was always they were talking to the side. Funerals, they were always in the back room, and he was always there. But quiet. The playful one was Baldo when I was a kid.
You see Pat Dora's comment?
Did you share any crepes? No, you have that one?
If I had that money, legitimate money, I would be on the Mediterranean right now, sitting back, having someone put grapes in my mouth. And we know who that would be.
Still trying to figure out who that'll be. I mean, I
crepes
don't know.
or grapes, guys. Crepes.
No, it's grapes. I don't know. Listen, all right, fine. I'll leave it up to you guys.
I had a friend of mine from back home told me, an old friend of mine told me it was crepes.
Crepes is like
crepes.
Like
Belgian stuff, yeah.
Like
crepes. I mean, I know what a crepe is, but it would be a little odd to be sitting on a beach. Somebody's rolling up a fresh crepe and feeding you a crepe. Right? It's a little more appealing. They're dangling a little grapes over your mouth.
He feels he's like one of those, Roman emperors. He's getting grapes in his mouth.
I get
a toga on.
I get it. And we know who that'll be.
Yeah, I'll be Sammy. Sammy be feeding him grapes.
Roro G, 1999. Thank you, Roro, the great Roro. Hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Roro. 1999 from Roro G.
Oh, thank you, Ro. See, I can't see. That fucking money makes me see.
We gotta get you fucking contacts.
I got a picture of Ro. Bro, somebody's fucking running around with my fucking 22-year-old avatar. I see it somewhere else. It's crazy.
I know. Mito, like, Frank Allen was a good guy.
It's a woman too. I think she's taking it a little bit too fucking.
Well, you see, when someone did that in the chat, I thought it was
they were making fun of it, which was okay.
Yeah, but you loved it. You said, "Oh, I love that. That's great." So this is what
I didn't have a problem with it. But I didn't think that I would see it somewhere else or somebody else's show.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get. They ran with it now. They said, "Oh, Frank loves this. I'm gonna fucking go everywhere with this now."
It's okay.
Wasted, buddy. Wasted. That's what happened to you. You got wasted.
Just in case you guys didn't see last week's that you put the comp, show it one more time. That's the best piece you ever did.
What is it?
The one with the doors beginning, the end.
It's really long. I'll let them vote on it. I mean, some of you guys, it's so long. It's like a minute and 20 seconds. If you guys want to see the Sammy trailer, I'm going to leave it to the chat because it's really long. It's really long.
All the time want to see the Rob Jean call it.
I can't believe he got whacked because of not showing up to Rusty or Stelly. You would think he's in the mix. Is that a fake story, though? Is that true story, you think?
I thought he did show up. There's two stories to that. That was one of them. The other one is he did show up and told him to mind his own business when he told him about having his foot on Tony Aiello's neck. Everybody has in common in that conversation is that Tony Aiello was the basis of the conversation where that happened.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Interesting. Nick Romano, do you guys think they will let out Ali Boy or any of the big guys left? Well, they just let out one, Vito Gus. I mean, he's not a captain or a boss or whatever, but
there's a difference, though. There's a difference. Yeah. The difference is Vito pled out to his crimes, and Ali Boy got convicted in trial. He was found guilty, and when you're found guilty, it's harder to get overturned. And I think all his appeals are exhausted too, which is unfortunate. And I have a lot of reasons behind that. Ali's another one that if his father was who he wasn't, he probably wouldn't even be in jail today.
There you go. Yeah. 182 people watching. Thank you. AFBI. Did I hear Rob Jean? You might have.
What's up, fellas? You hear me or not? What's going on, cuz?
What's going on, cuz?
And another thing about Ali, too, I guarantee you that a lot of the reasons he's in jail is not because of his mouth, but Jackie DeRoss's mouth. It's what Jackie DeRoss said. It's not what Ali said. Because I was in jail. Ali was my my cellmate for I don't know, close to about a year and a half. We were cellmates together. And he didn't trust to talk to anybody, and he rarely talked any mob stuff. And when he did, it wasn't mob stuff. It was about people he knew, like, that might have been affiliated to the mob. He didn't talk ranks about it. He goes, yeah, I knew that guy. His name was Joe. And that's where it ended. So if he didn't talk to hhis roommate, why would he talk with other Italian guys that he hardly fucked with anyway? So a lot of it had to do with Jackie just fucking talking mob shit all the time.
Mike the printer, show it.
Well, Nick Romano, he got life in prison because he blew trial. Jackie blew trial. He was they went to trial together. He blew it. 12 jurors found him guilty. And a lot of the evidence when it came to fucking Ali, I believe, was circumstantial.
Yeah. So you answered Nick Romano? Is that what you were responding to?
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, I thought you were saying Al went to prison because of Jackie." Yeah, no.
Jackie's mouth. Kind of like people get in trouble. Well, it doesn't necessarily people turn after that and say, "Well, you know what? I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna tell on you because you got caught on tape talking about what me and you did, or you got caught talking to a rat about what me and you did. Now I'm gonna flip. Then we're just Sammy the Bull. You understand? But that was kind of sort of what happened to Ali with and Jackie.
Right. Biggest to try. Did you know Joe Benanti?
I did not. Nope. No.
Primo, what's going on, man? Nice boys. He says, after several months of debate, agree or disagree that the missed hit on Costello was the end of the life in New York. Why wasn't the chin whacked immediately after missing the shot? The end of the life in New York. I don't know. What was that, like 57? I don't know if that's the end of the life. Seems like it only got more stronger.
What, the life?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Primo says, after several months of debate, agree or disagree that the missed hit on Costello was the end of the life in New York. Why wasn't the chin whacked immediately after missing the shot?
Oh, he was sent there. He was sent to do that shot, so he wasn't gonna. Oh, for missing it, I don't know. That could go both ways. It depends. Yeah, he wasn't a man of position at the time. The chin wasn't. I don't know.
It just comes down. Genovese had a love for the guy. I mean, there was something, obviously.
Yeah, probably like, hey, what the fuck is wrong with you? How did you fuck that up?
But Primo's asking if you think that's the end of the life.
Nah. There was a lot of life left in there was a lot of oxygen left in that mob tank after that. No. Shit, at the end of the life. What was
Tommy
like
Shots has a mafia blog? What?
he used to, I know that. Hey, Fish, welcome back. But back to like the end of the mob life. I think the commission case is what killed the mob. That
Yeah,
and
that's easy.
That was the end of the life. The Rico, even that fucking jerk off Giuliani says the same thing.
If Rico becomes unconstitutional, what happens? Violence comes back. Why is that being debated, Magoo?
No, there's other ways there'll be other laws written up to get these guys. Rico's big. Obviously, taking it off the table is gonna do a lot, but nah, Rico's big.
Good evening, everyone. Frankie, good to see. Yeah, I know, but I thought maybe it was like in the news or something. Someone to bring it up. It was named the Colombo Family Blog. Interesting. Must have missed that one. Yeah, he had a mafia blog. I think he was on the radio show.
Shout out to Wiffle Ball guy. I don't think he asked about how was McManaway as a preacher.
Oh, this is a good question, actually, because you wanted to talk about this from Nick Romano. He says, I have a question for Frank. It's a little off topic, but are you Magilla Gorilla?
I'm not fucking Magilla Gorilla. Fucking Lefty started that whole shit. And not I'm not Magilla Gorilla.
That's a good one. You're not Magilla Gorilla. Okay. I've seen the name over the however many fucking months, year. I don't know how long I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's by the Gorillas.
No, that's a different gorilla. What's up, Dayon? No, I'm not Magilla Gorilla. Frank don't like that shit. No, yeah. So somebody had called me. There was two guys that called me. I'm not going to mention because then the next thing that's going to be another whatever. And they were like, somebody's accusing you of being Magilla Gorilla because I guess Magilla Gorilla pissed Lefty off. But that's a code name. It ain't me.
Right. I hope
apparently not. Somebody's daughter, some mob person's daughter, used to be called Magilla Gorilla by her father. And that guy who named himself Magilla Gorilla used to do that to piss her off. Well, happen? She's a very pretty woman, even our age, but she doesn't look like Magilla Gorilla.
Take the chat. I got to turn off my thing for 1 second. Can you see the comments?
Yeah, of course. Eddie.
Well, actually, people were asking for the Sammy trailer before. I think 5 or 6 people wanted to see it. I got to take a quick intermission, and I'm going to play the trailer. Is that all right?
Sure, please do.
All right. Frank wanted to see it again anyway. So this is Bo. Here we go, Bo. This is Sammy Found God.
This is great.
This is the result of it, I guess. But I actually did need to take just 1 minute, so you guys chill on this for a little bit.
It's my house now. This is where I live. It's awesome. I live there. I live with Jesus Christ. I may live here and walk in that door. I may die tomorrow, but I'm going there.
You took the blood oath. You agreed to keep your mouth shut. You knew you weren't entering fantasy land.
Bust your fucking mouth wide open. I'm gonna put you on your fucking knees and I'm gonna make you suck my dick. No safety or surprise. Who the fuck in the mob says stop the baloney? What kind of statement is that? Get to your eyes again. Can you picture what will be? So limitless and free, desperately in need of some was face to face with stranger's hand. I would kill him in 2 seconds and go right to the courts and say, hey, I done it.
Yeah, that was good. You outdid yourself.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my
Bro,
god.
McGilligan. All right, Fish knows who McGilla Gorilla is.
I didn't see it yet. I gotta see it. Bo, I gotta see it, Bo. So they were gonna Gaslight. Do you think the video I sent was any respect to accuracy? I'm an actor, so we compare. Yeah, what did I ask you though, Gaslight? What is that? Is that like AI or are those like real actors that you're? It's interesting. Yeah, I liked it. I gotta send it to Frank. Actually, I'm the only one that looked at it.
In what? What are you talking about?
I'll send it to you. It's like I don't know if you're doing a scripted series for YouTube Gaslight. And are those real actors? Because I don't know what to believe anymore when I see people. It's like, is that guy created with a fucking AI or something?
Well, does he want to come up?
Who?
I want to learn about Gaslight and talk about his series.
Well, he can come on if he wants. Yeah, just give us a thumbs up, Mr. Gaslight. You can come on.
Gaslight, you want to come on? Come up and tell us about this series you're working on.
We'll see.
Throw away the keys.
John A. Light gets ambushed. Oh man, I think I broke my hand.
What the fuck?
All right, we'll see if he's gonna come on. I'm late like every time. Sorry, Under. It's the same time every Monday. Same time every Monday.
I have another guest who want a very good
7 to 7:15, somewhere in there. Usually 7, but sometimes 7:15. Where are the keys, bro? Yeah, where are your keys? But we'll see. I'll give it a minute. Sister, good to see you. Sister. Remember that show, Sister?
Yeah, a friend of mine asked me what happened to Ridgewood Part 3. We were going to mention the Duke. That's coming.
Yeah.
Bro. So
it's coming this week.
Tight.
Promise. 100%. We promise.
Tight. Yep.
As Danny Trio used to say, 100%.
Danny Trio.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You remember when like Lee told him, hey, he knows where the bodies are. He got all excited, like, come on, Lee. And he like,
yeah, like, oh, come on.
Yeah, oh shit. He's making me look like a gangster. I'm proud.
Yeah. You want to talk about fucking McGilla, the real McGilla gorilla.
The real McGill.
The underwear bandit. There you go. The wash and wear burglar. That's what he.
Yeah, he was stealing underwears in Florida.
That's what they called him. Daniel Smith. Don't say nothing, Lee.
I was say Danny J, like YouTube legend.
He is a YouTube legend. He is. We gotta get some Danny Trio drops on here too. We'll get those too.
Yeah. What's up, Scott H? You couldn't fuck a dead horse. That was his best line.
What does it mean? It's almost like getting fed grapes on the Mediterranean, and you know who that would be.
It's nonsense. It's like
the same realm.
Talk, like nonsense.
Yeah, you guys are so used, guys.
Yeah, he's so dumb he couldn't fuck a dead fucking dead horse is a thing.
Used guys.
How much is that monkey in the window?
Oh, Gaslight said he would come on.
Sure, I'd be up for getting on the stream. Just email me a link.
I'm just gonna drop it in the chat, Gaslight. You can grab it from there. If you don't mind.
Come up. Let us know about this.
This is for Gaslight Studios Rebooted. Only for Gaslight Studios. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna put it in the chat. Gaslight Studios Rebooted. That's who the fucking link is for.
There you go. Have you ever talked to Gaslight before?
No, I haven't. So we'll wait for Gaslight Studios to get in. Brief intermission.
Where's Latrell?
Dance floor.
Stop the baloney, huh?
All right.
What happened to that girl?
Oh, I don't know. She's not in the chat right now.
I thought you were supposed to hook up with her.
We followed each other on Instagram. Oh, Rock Solid. Did I miss you before? What's going on, buddy? It takes a lot for me to dislike someone, but I can't stand Gravano. I don't watch anything he does. What a difference between a guy like him and Frank. What's up, Rock Solid? Good to see you.
I appreciate that, Rock Solid.
I forgot to say hi to you before. I saw you before. My man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have somebody behind the stage, Mr. Gaslight Studios Rebooted. I think this is him. Better be him. Yes, it is. Yo, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey,
I'm all right. How you doing? How you doing,
Good.
Brett? How you doing, Francesco?
Where you from?
Not bad.
Oh, I'm from Essex County, New Jersey.
Oh shit, dude! I don't know why I thought you were like fucking in like Norway or some shit.
No.
I
This is
don't know where I got that from.
Yeah, no. This is the reason it's my. Without doxing myself, the town that I live in is the only one left in, I believe, left in Essex County that still uses gas lamps for the street lights. So that's why I have the.
That's fucking cool, though.
Yeah. So it was local friends of mine, neighbors, who I asked, hey, would you like to be part of this? And they said, yeah, sure. This is the thing that I was asking Frank research questions about, I believe earlier in the month, month before that, about the Pizza Connection and the Donnie Brasco infiltration case. Sure. So the series would track basically what Donnie Brasco and the Pizza Connection and sort of merge the two to try and create more of a three-dimensional picture, more than you just getting Donnie Brasco. And correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, there hasn't really been any, excepting maybe Excellent Cadavers, there hasn't really been anything on how the American and Sicilian Mafia connected with regards to things like the Pizza Connection.
Right. No. Other than kind of like documentaries you see on those A&E or National Geographic. I mean, it's minimal, and a lot has to do with the not too many informants on that level at the time. So they jump all over the Ronjavelli guy, and I mean that's the closest you're gonna get to those guys in respect to the drug game. I mean, it sounds a little ridiculous, no?
Yeah, that is true.
One guy claims up back in the day, Spatola, and when he does, he told, and then he took it back. He was involved in the Alfano hit, apparently.
Oh, the hit that Pasquale Conte allegedly
Patsy Conte, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So he could have gave a lot of insight on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Opposed to guys, the fly-by-nights who used to come around and say they knew something. But so that's why a lot of it is not there. And you get a lot of people on the Italian side that flipped after, and they know as much as who they were dealing with, but not the much of the inner workings of the American side. You know what I mean?
True, and I don't think Catalano is going to be defecting anytime soon. So
no. Or even
Salvatore Contorno is still alive, but correct me if I'm wrong. He's currently in jail.
He's in jail again.
Contorno, yeah, I believe he is.
Wow. I know
he never really left.
Well, in his mind, he never left, but so he went to northern Italy and started selling drugs again, I think.
You'd think he would have gotten the message, but he
was a dead-on criminal. I think he told out of anger, not out of being a guy that they killed everybody he was around, his buddy, and everything. It doesn't make it right, but it was his way of getting back. He had his kid in the car when they made an attempt on him. To kill him.
He was like the lucky one out of 6 guys in this one car. I think this is 80 or 81 that Pino Greco came up with a Kalashnikov. Him and a couple other guys just tried to.
Yeah, it was him and his son. He had his son in the car.
Yeah, there was like 4 other guys in the car too, and he was the lucky one. All 5 of the other guys got killed.
I thought it was just him and his son. I know there was people in his crew. They all disappeared one by one. He was a Bontante guy.
Yeah, he was connected with the Bontante.
But yeah, he hated being in the witness protection program here in the United States because it wasn't his country. He was used to where he's from. And if you know these Sicilians are really hardcore Sicilians, it's hard for them to get accumulated real quick. So he went back and, like you said, he started doing what he did.
Yeah. Well, then there was that other guy. I forget what his name is. The guy who claimed that he stole a painting out of a church. And I know that he attempted to commit suicide when he got left after in like 2011 when he was in Windsor.
Right. You're talking about Danny Trejo?
No, I completely forget what his name is. Is this Sicilian
That
guy?
would be a
like,
Danny. No, I understand. I'm just making light of Danny Trio. You can picture him going in stealing a painting and walking out of it.
No, I mean this was like one the size of that wall. It was like out of some church in in Palermo. It's a gigantic painting.
When was this? Like the 90s?
When he defected, I think was like 1989.
Okay.
Shortly after Maxi.
Okay, I got you. Because I knew a guy from Shaka who was on the lam in New York. Older guy. You wouldn't suspect it. Balding and everything, like in near 60s. And he was wanted for one of these art heists, you know, and it was funny because you looked at him, he looked like he couldn't get too far away, you know what I mean? And he actually did it. You know,
Sicilian Mafia art heist 1980s. Wasn't what? Oh, the Nativity with Saint Francis and Saint Lawrence.
Wow.
Which was a Caravaggio, actually.
Oh, it was a Caravaggio. Wow.
Yep.
Did they ever recover that?
I don't even know what that. I thought that was a cheese.
Never recovered it. They have never recovered
I thought Caravaggio was a cheese.
No,
Caravaggio.
Not Formaggio?
No, not Formaggio. No.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so you're trying to put the series together, huh?
I'm still in the research writing phase. I'm figuring like each episode's like 15 to 20 minutes, being that it is a YouTube series.
Gotcha.
Dramatized, trying to be as close as I can within the confines of a budget, which is non-existent at this point.
You have any? You put some proposals together, obviously, right?
I'm still writing it up, so I just want to have a finished product that I can send to people before I say this is the amount of money I'd need to make this work, whether that be through a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe or whatever.
In series form, right? You want to make a series.
Yes. 10, 12 episodes, a series, exempting what I sent to Brett, which is the final season, as would only have 10 episodes.
Well, if I can help, let me know.
Okay. Also, do you think
easy on me if you use me?
Yeah, I will.
I'm probably a little.
What did you look like when you were like? How you were? What 12 when the guys got busted in '84?
14.
Okay, and what you look? I mean, were you like? No offense, were you kind of like pudgy at that point still?
I was a curly head kid. I'll give you a couple of pictures if you want to check them out.
Okay.
I'll show them next time.
Brett can shoot you my email.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that has access to the 52 topics one.
Oh, okay.
You know how Google works. Like you can't really share an email because
you get. Well, no, but he can.
I'll send you
his.
You'll get his email. I'll get it to you.
Good.
Yeah, for sure. So how'd you get into this though? By the way,
how did I get?
Look at your page. Seems like you're into like Civil War stuff too, and all that stuff. That's pretty cool.
I am. I'm just one of these historical butterflies, in that everything historical interests me, but. I'm not sure if you know about this guy. What was his name? Lawrence Ricci. Do you ever hear about him on the street, Frank?
No.
Captain of the Genovese family. He was an ILA guy.
No.
And he got murdered, and his body got dumped in the trunk of the back of a car in Union Township, New Jersey, which is like this diner is like called the Huck Finn Diner. It's still there today.
Okay.
It's like 5 miles from where I live. And they found his body when I was like 5 years old. And I've kind of, not that I've been interested in the mafia since I was 5, but I've been interested in organized crime for probably since middle school when I first watched Goodfellas.
Who's the guy? My friend, I don't think he's in the chat. Vinny Boombas. He's obsessed with this story.
Yeah, he knows a lot.
He got me. He knows a lot about Jersey. He got me going into the rabbit hole. Who's the guy that was former cop? And then he ends up with Jersey. He has like he's not Italian. He's got like a name.
With Jersey or with Philly?
He ends up getting he was in Jersey. He was connected somehow with the Genovese. I don't know if he's connected with DiGilio somehow. And he was a former cop. What the hell's his name? Vinny Boombots, where you at? He's a former cop. I don't know if he killed or he took himself out when he was on trial or something like that. And he was like a bodyguard with the Genovese, but he used to be a cop. No, not Previty. No.
Let me ask the Rangers.
Yeah, because I was going to say Previty was connected with Philadelphia.
Yeah, no,
that's why I asked.
No, that's not who it is. And it speaks to the story because it's not like, I mean, because Vinny Boombots always wanted me to cover it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is his name?
Oh, yeah. The thing, I don't. The series would end with the start of the Pizza Connection trial. The timeline would get a little bit fudged in the sense that I want to do Maxi before the Pizza Connection trial, but it ends.
Yeah.
But Maxi, I'm ending it in any case before Alfano gets shot.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But the reason I think Conte may have done it is because, again, according to Sul and Rob, according to Gravano, Gotti had Gravano go to Conte and say, "I want that heroin pipeline reopened."
Right.
And then that would just make it would logically then make sense for him to send a message over to the Sicilians in the Bonanno family, keep your mouth shut. You're doing business with me now, not with Rusty. You're doing business with me.
Yeah,
but that's a little bit convoluted.
I mean, yeah, that side of the Bonanno family is the same faction. I said it time and time again. It dies right after the Pizza Connection, so he could have said anything he wanted, and nobody was going to contest it. You know what I mean? Patsy Conti and they had a love-hate relationship with the Zips, the Bonanno Zips. They got along. They worked in the same neighborhoods, like in Bushwick and Ridgewood and all those neighborhoods around there. But it was definitely love-hate.
Yeah. Well, I thought most of the Gambino Zips worked down in outside Trenton, Cherry Hill.
No,
that's a different crew, I guess.
Yeah, we had they were all the same when it came to being the Sicilian faction, but not different crews. The Patsy crew was the ones that grew up around my neighborhood, the ones I knew.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention because they're still active, but you can imagine who I'm talking about. They all came up with Patsy's.
Gaslight, George Weingartner. You know him?
I can't say that I know.
You don't know his story. Look into his.
Well, again, the Cavalcantes and the Genoveses aren't exactly my forte. Mostly
I know.
The Genovese are so secretive that it's kind of hard to find good info on them.
Right. But just for historical purposes, it's a very fucking interesting story with this guy.
Well, that's always good to hear.
Yeah. What else is going on?
We're gonna have you on more. We're almost running out of time today.
Yeah, it's almost 9 p.m.
No, we're not getting rid of you yet. We got no. This is a great. This would make a great show. Now that we know you, it would be an excellent show actually. And
we can get all the Siciliano nerds on here, which
we
I'm
know many. We know
I'm
many.
admittingly not. I'm learning. I just definitely learning with Frank. It's a little bit outside me, just like you said. Genovese is outside. Sicilian has always kind of been a weakness of mine, so I'm glad to learn it.
Yeah.
But Bucciolato, we can get a whole roundtable going if you guys want.
Oh yeah.
Also, how hard? This is strictly a lingual thing, strictly a research thing with regard to this series, which is called World of Crime.
Mm-hmm.
How hard would you say it actually is to learn Sicilian instead of, so to speak, mainland Italian?
Probably because it's not talked as much as Italian is, obviously. I think there's only 5 million speakers in the Sicilian language. It's harder today than Ranger fan. Yes, I do remember Jimmy. But to learn it, I think it'd be the same approach because it's, even though it's a dialect, it's all different. It has a lot of different. People say Arabic, not as much as like.
It's a combination of
Romanian that I learned. I learned how to speak Romanian, not speak it, defend myself. I could understand where people are coming from when they're speaking Romanian to me. It's a Romance language.
Yeah,
and I hear sometimes Sicilian words in Romanian, and I also hear some Brazilian ones is in Portuguese. I hear some Sicilian words too. So if you were taking the same approach of learning but the problem with Sicilian is nobody speaks it outside the house like they used to anymore. It's not, unless you're married to a Sicilian family and you're embedded in that house and you're learning the language, speak it, you learn it. But you're not. There's no societies that I'm aware of that speak it on a level or ordering food or even a coffee. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I just like, for the purposes of, it's gonna be a multilingual show. So the Sicilians, the okay,
it's not
using the phrase, the Zips are all speaking Sicilian with each other. Not with the Americans, although with the, as you said, with the heavily accented English.
Oh yeah, we always did. No, we did in conversational because that's what we did. We didn't talk Italian, and I mean, the ones that we're taught to speak, like the Tuscan Italian. When matter of fact, we thought it was a little feminine, if you will, when they talked in front of us. So we didn't really talk it. Now you go to Sicily, it's always so. But if you go like neighborhoods, see what happens with Sicilian is, people who come from that era, they don't come to learn Italian. While Italy keeps evolving, or Sicily evolves to learn whatever.
Sicily got stuck in
those people that come into the United States stay at that level when it comes to learning Italian. And that's, we always spoke Sicilian to each other. My friends did, first generation, some second generation. You get
like
a guy.
The printer, I understand that the term zip isn't. I do understand that it's derogatory. I just have my own reasons for not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I'm aware of it. And even you got people like Joe Grimaldi, who's third generation and even understood Sicilian because he always was around Sicilians, But once you're like second or third, they don't even teach their kids it no more.
I wonder if Henry Hill actually knew any Sicilian based on the fact that his mother was first, or I think she was first generation Sicilian.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Henry Hill.
Henry Hill.
Yeah, they you're right.
And in a few interviews, he claimed, and I use this in the loosest possible, that he bought his stuff from the Pizza Connection. I have trouble believing that.
We have another guy in Pennsylvania that claimed the same thing. What was his name? He was with the Pizza Connection, but sold cocaine instead.
Oh, Rocco Morelli. Yeah, that's
Rocco Morelli.
Yeah.
No, I mean, cocaine isn't completely beyond the pale. It just wouldn't have come from Sicily. It would have come from Medellin.
Yeah, no, it's a whole fake story. Yeah, we got the paperwork.
You get so many of these fake. So you're a historian. Obviously, you're pretty good at what you do because, I've heard what
I was seriously considering doing my capstone in history on the Pizza Connection.
Gotcha.
The problem is there's a serious lack of primary sources on the Pizza Connection.
How about the Blumenthal book or the
that's not a primary source.
No, or the Claire Sterling. No, that's what I mean. Or the Claire Sterling books. I always found holes in them. It's like reading, it's like Swiss cheese to me. You know what I mean? You got a lot of holes in them.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, you can't really rely on interviews with a ton of mobsters. No offense, Frank. Anyways, because everyone's gonna embellish or omit depending on whether it's on what's expedient.
Do I fall in that category?
I mean, let me put it to you like this: when you do the Queen for a Day deal, you better be sure that you tell the truth on everything.
Of course, there you
go. And Henry Hill probably wasn't entirely truthful in his Queen.
No, I think he made up.
He was the first guy too. So listen, today, if you're gonna flip, you better be truthful because there's gonna be like 30 people backing up your story because they got like 30. They got so many informants out there, you have no idea. So when they were telling, it was like everybody was with their mouth open, like, okay, all right, because they didn't have many really good sources. Believe it, Henry Hill was regarded a very, very good source at the time.
Well, he was pretty much the only one.
Well, that's one of my points.
At that point,
they would have threw him out of the room and said, "Stop, enough's enough. This guy ain't getting no fucking."
Well, I mean, once Al DiArco and Fat Pete and Tommy Riccardi, that's when his story probably would have fallen apart if this had been in the early 90s as opposed to 1980.
Sure. Yeah,
Filippo
yes.
Casamento.
Sure. By the time
Filippo Casamento, you know this guy, Frank?
It sounds familiar.
With regard to the Lucchese family sweep, just staying on that subject from a couple of weeks ago, one of my neighbors, her mom lives in Red Bank, and so she's met George Zupola multiple times, and so when the sweep came in, she was like, "What the heck happened, George? What were you doing?"
What was he doing? The guy killed more people than cancer. I mean,
I must have heard. What the hell? I can't believe it when they arrested certain people. Because you even when you get taken down and you see some of these guys, they're good at what they do. They're good at hiding their fucking business.
They brought down 33 associates, one of whom is an elected official in Patterson.
Yeah.
So this might potentially put Zupola away for quite a bit of time, because the only reason I can think of for nabbing so many associates, I can guarantee you almost none of them have done time. Put the squeeze on them a little bit, and
they want to flip. That's how it works.
As many of them to flip as possible.
Well, I think some of the Pernas probably did time, but I don't. But what is it? Is it a good case? What is it? $3 million? I mean, it's not really.
Well, it's a lot of it's money laundering too, and that's
right.
I mean, the combined, the maximum sentence I think is like, at least for the illegal gambling, I think is 4 years, but the other charges probably more than that. I don't know, maybe like 20 years. But again, we're thinking about a bunch of people who have not spent much time in jail and probably do not want to spend more than a day in jail.
Yeah.
You're going to have to name names, which is, there's absolutely.
I just don't know. I don't know how long. I mean, I don't know. No, I mean, how many years is he going to do? What is he going to do? Like 3 years, 4 years?
Zupola, I mean, look,
less than 5.
I mean, no, I mean, Frank knows this. Baldassare Amato knew this. Sal Catalano knew this. John Gotti knew this. The only way out is either feet first or you die in prison. That's the entire spectrum of possibilities.
Hey, Lisa Pizzatola, what's up, Lisa? Drum Capella.
No, I get it. It's just
yeah, you're absolutely right. That's people know that.
I would think that he wouldn't take. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, getting.
This is another thing. Superseding indictments.
It's probably it's part of the job description.
Right.
Spending time.
It is job description. A lot of people always ask me, "You don't want a cage?" I said no, because I knew at a certain, especially when I was involved and what was going on, I don't want no kids. I'm going to end up dying or fucking being in jail all my life, because I figured that. I used to hear the horror stories of people the kids going to visit the dads in jail and all that shit. Even moms in some cases. I knew women who were in jail because of getting involved with their husbands.
Well, I mean, the truly demented thing about Massino, I guess, is the fact that he wanted his members, his capos, to volunteer their sons into that line of work.
Yeah, you ever heard me talk about it? Killed it.
Yeah.
He was okay?
Yeah, I can hear you better.
You broke up for a minute.
You guys see me? Okay. Yeah. That's what happened with him. The nepotism killed him. Yeah. What he thought made him strong actually killed him.
Well, I mean, he also, in Rob's view, his killer was mistreating Vitale. Because once Vitale flipped, his photographic memory, even with all the defectors, I think Vitale stayed loyal. I think Massino may have actually beaten the indictment, but once Vitale's gone, Lino's gone.
He felt that
everyone's gonna defect.
He used to say that. He used to say the only guy I gotta beat is Vitale. He used to call him Fredo.
That's a little bit rich.
He used to call him Fredo, right? And I called it for that. It was Fredo for months.
Hypocrite.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
that was about a hit. What do we got? 5 minutes left.
Hypocrite much? Yeah, we got a little bit of time. Yep. We'll stay on for like 10, 15 more minutes. Yeah, but this George Sopola thing, I mean, listen, it's 2025. I mean, I know the life is you're supposed to live the life. It still boggles my mind that these guys are fucking 65 years old. You're fucking lucky to even be out of prison.
I mean, it's like, as long as they're poor kids, organized crime in one currency or another, in one ethnic group or another, is going to flourish because everyone's going to be like, especially the greedy ones and the ones who do not particularly want to work hard for a living are going to go down that path. And
I get that.
Billy Beatty of the Westies said, people come out of Hell's Kitchen. Some of them did pretty good for themselves. I know now, and I didn't. I took the easy way.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Then again, he came out of probably the most violent gang in the Irish mobs.
Yeah,
maybe that colored his
it's just I'm thinking about a guy like just him specifically. I'm just thinking about him. 65 years old. You eliminated a bunch of people in your life with your own hand. It was just go do something, buddy. Go fucking do something. Stop it. Just go do something. Be productive in doing something else. But listen, then again, I'm not a criminal, so I don't understand.
I guess after his last stint, he probably could have requested to be shelved, but
I don't know, just crazy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's one of the when you flip, they'll just shelve you. It's not worth the headache and trying to kill.
No, they're not killing anybody.
Now,
they're not killing anybody as far as I know.
The most recent hit was what, 2013, 2016?
Say it again?
The most recent hit was like 2013, and that decapitated Lucchesi's again.
Yeah, the Melda shit. They say, yeah, right.
No, the guy with the maid guy with the bananas was waiting for his bus and got clipped.
Who?
Staten Island. It was 2013, I believe.
No, but that's not. We're talking about like sanctioned like hits, but
yeah, that one was sanctioned.
Well, the Melda shit you had in the Bronx. That was 2013.
I forgot the guy's name. Anthony something. He was a maid guy with the bananas.
And there was this one other thing. I think it was like mid last year. A Gambino captain's crossing the street. I think in the Upper West Side, someplace.
In Bay Ridge, I believe.
And is crossing the street, and a garbage truck accidentally slices his head off.
Yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, apparently his head went rolling. Ryan Brown, did you see? Frank, did you see the clip of Vito Guzzo getting out? I think it was his half brother Anthony, a woman named Lisa, who Vito was. Yeah, we saw that on our channel, Ryan Brown.
Her name was Nancy, I think. I think her name was Nancy.
Yeah, Ryan Brown, we put that out. Unless you saw it somewhere else, Ryan Brown, I'd love to know.
I was it was out in other places. I'm not the first.
I didn't see it anywhere. I didn't see it anywhere.
Obviously I got it. And
I looked
on the chat.
I looked on Reddit. I looked on the fucking every Instagram page. I looked on YouTube. I didn't see it when you sent it to me. Yeah. Anywhere.
I get it, but someone on the chat who see it today.
That was great when you get that Billy Beatty quote from an old. Yeah, Billy Beatty did like a 4-part interview before he died. You listen to that by any chance, Gaslight? If you're into
no, I don't. I don't even know when he died.
Not too long ago, maybe like 2 years ago.
Okay. I know Montiglio died in 2020.
Yeah, 2021.
Jimmy Coonan's still kicking around, but I think he's going to kick around forever until Mickey Featherstone gets killed. Until he kills Featherstone.
A little Anthony
Featherstone brought the Westies down.
He's not getting out.
Guys, that's the one. Little Anthony Seclefico. That was the last one I thought was
Yeah, he said it was 2009. But with Beatty, it's this guy named Joe Paletto. He's in the industry somewhere, whatever, but he has this podcast. He doesn't really do it often, called Later Days. And not long before Beatty died, he did if you go on Spotify, type in Later Days, there's a 4-part interview with Billy Beatty there. And this podcast also was the first one to have Scarpa Jr. on before he started doing all these other YouTube interviews. So yeah, pretty cool. That last Billy Beatty thing. Yeah, it was this channel. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Yeah,
Billy. The boss before Coonan, Mickey Spillane, my next door neighbor, actually knows or knew at least one of his kids who currently lives in Philadelphia. Yeah. The one who did not fall out the window and die. I mean, he was an actor, so I have trouble believing that would be sanctioned.
No, I think that was just an accident.
Yeah,
I
like,
remember when that happened.
Although how it's accidental when you're dropping out of a window, like a 13th floor window.
Yeah, I don't know.
In your apartment.
Accident or purpose.
I mean, it could just suicide. I mean,
yeah, he could have
that word, which I know might get the stream demonetized.
Yeah. Now we're already fucked anyway. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
There are certain words beyond the curse words that you probably shouldn't be saying on stream. Otherwise,
yeah, with words like that, I usually say like took himself out or ended his life. I say stuff like I don't do these new.
Carry.
Tony Pizza says the new normal. I don't do the new normal lingo. The unalived and the deleted.
Check himself out.
I don't say that shit. Yeah, I don't say that shit.
Yeah.
Keep saying that, guys. Don't make me go on another tangent with the unalived and the deleted. Keep doing that shit, you fucking.
We do a couple questions for the crowd and we go.
It's your fault. We got to keep doing that because you guys keep doing it.
Fellas.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get out in like 5 minutes. Yo, Gaslight, thank you for hopping on, buddy. Appreciate you.
Gaslight, thank you so much. You got to come on with us. We definitely will enjoy hearing from you and all you bring to the table. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and if you'd like, next time I'll bring down the book from by Shane Alexander, the Pizza Connection, the trial transcript, basically.
No, I'm not someone who teaches about that subject. I'm someone who loves to learn about that. So I always was fascinated with the Pizza Connection, and I learned a lot. Obviously, I was too young to be involved. Thank God. I'd probably be doing time. Even up to today.
Well, I mean, you might have gone the way of. You might have learned about. You might have gone the way of Vito Badalamenti, who managed to avoid getting taken down.
He ended up beating the case. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was the only defendant acquitted.
Yeah, well, you know your homework. You're good.
Yeah, unlike no, I am unaware of them. What I do know is in the neighborhood one of my friends lives up in Short Hills, New Jersey. It's a suburb of Byrne. It's where Tony Bananas Caponegro lived.
Is that Somerset County?
No, that's in Essex.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, the consigliere for Philadelphia is living up in Essex County, New Jersey.
Yeah,
despite the fact that he probably owned multiple businesses in Philadelphia, and I can't imagine Amtrak was much better than it was now, than it is now.
What did Sammy call him? Caponegro?
Kevin,
and Wheel of Fortune.
He wound up getting dumped in the South Bronx by the Genovese, or I don't know by who, but
no.
Yep. Yeah, didn't they stick something in his ass? They stuck
$20 bills in his mouth and all over his body.
Yeah.
Every hole they stuck.
Crazy people.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. All right, Gaslight. What I'm going to do is actually the email you sent me, I'll forward it to Frank, and then you'll see the email there.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Please come back on. Back on. Shout out to James Wichelotto too, if you're listening. We were calling you soon. Yeah.
All right, Gaslight.
That's here around,
man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for coming in.
All right, bye.
Nick Romano says, is Gaslight a made guy?
Is Gaslight a made guy? Yes, he is.
Fucking guy.
Yeah, he is. Very knowledgeable. You see now, you see the face beat to those questions that are asked every week, and it kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah. I would hope he wasn't asking them for fun. Obviously, he's very much into it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The kid who killed Cali was mentally ill. Yeah, Anthony Camello. Yeah, he was out of his mind.
Yeah, he was mentally ill.
He was one of them QAnons.
So what do we got going? What do we got coming left? What's left?
What do you mean? What do we got left this week?
No, in general. I mean, yeah, this week. What do we got coming?
We got Ridgewood Part 3. We got Ridgewood Part 3 coming out. We still got a Fugazi coming out. We're getting you some pre-records this week, ladies and gentlemen. Promise.
Yeah, for sure.
Promise you that. But yeah, no, this has been a good show. We talked about some of those 80s cop homicides.
Mm-hmm.
We unpacked a lot. He was made by
He's the unpacker.
Tom Brady.
Congratulations to the Knicks, by the way, guys.
Did they win?
Yeah, they're up 3-1, luckily, but it is the NBA. It's not easy.
Yeah, where is the unpacker? The unpacker didn't come tonight.
Jimmy Calamandria made him.
Jimmy Calamandria?
Yeah.
Jimmy Bath Beach guys.
See, Fish, there's one place you could come. You always come here. Don't worry about it, my man.
Thank you, Snake. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, the unpacker wasn't here tonight. Guys, if you haven't seen our past two shows, we had New Jersey Councilman John Elite was on the show.
Yeah, good show. Good show.
Wednesday, we had Dom Sicali came on, talking about his crypto, talking about everything else. Tom Levecki was on.
Today, we're going to unpack. There's a lot to unpack here. Time to unpack.
Unpacking.
And then after that, Tom Levecki actually had Dom on his show for his own unpacking of the crypto and everything else to go along with that. So check that out. Frank, any last words? Thank you, everybody, for hanging out tonight.
Yeah, thank you, guys. It's always fun having you guys out here. How many people do we have at this point?
130.
Pretty good. Thanks, guys. And yeah, we're good. Hey, what's up, Jesse? How are you? And yeah, pretty soon we'll have another couple of guests coming pretty soon. Thank you, Dayon. We got Dan. Great show, fellas. I'm glad that you guys like the show. It started in October, so
yeah.
Hopefully, there we go. Cavs 80, Heat 35 at half. No way. That's got to be a misprint.
I want to hear from the lady yelling, "Shut the fuck up" in the background.
I want to hear from the lady. Yeah.
Is that what?
Yeah, they can hear you.
I didn't hear it. Maybe the chat heard. I didn't hear shit. But.
Yeah, they can hear it. Yeah. All right.
Thank you to our great moderator, Roro.
Hi, hey, you know me.
Thank you, Roro. Appreciate you very much. That's it. That's it, everybody. Frank, why don't you say goodnight to the chat?
Yeah, good night, guys. I'm sorry about that. That's kind of funny. And Snake, Nick Romano, yeah, she's definitely Sicilian. No, she's not, but good guys. Loud as well.
I'm German.
Yeah. Dayon, yep. And that's it, bro.
All right, everybody. Have a good
night.
Roro,
love you, Roro. Hope you get better. That's
feel better soon.
Hey, Matt, what's up, buddy? What's up? Nick
all right, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. We'll see you this week. Keep a lookout for the pre-records. DL, peace, man. Have a good one.
Hey, Matt, have a good one. Fish, have a good one, brother.
I'm so sorry.
Sammy Wheel of Fortune, real quick. This fucking guy.
That was just common.
I don't have it. Next time I'll have it. I don't have it saved.
Yeah.
All right, I can't do it. All right, guys. Have a good night. See y'all soon.
That was just you hear me?